When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. Now let's continue where we last left off in our Mortal Kombat story. After Lydia released 20% of her godly power, Deku and everyone else was forced to their knees. Deku is clearly struggling to stay on his feet, grinding his teeth as he begins to growl, as he's barely remaining on his feet. Give me a second guys, I'm gonna shut off that notification. Sorry about that brief interruption, now let's continue forward. This is insane. I threw several powerful abilities at her and did squat shit. I know she's a god and all, but I figured I would make some progress. I guess this means this means that I'm just not trying hard enough. The fact that she's only released 20% of her power, and I am almost out of stamina. These attacks I used during this battle weren't easy to perform. My stamina took a major hit. I might have impressive stamina consumptions compared to normal people, but even that has its limits. Deku used what strength he has in his tank and extended both of his hands as he channels a large amount of fire and condense it into his palms of his hands. When his attack hit its power peak, he released it in a huge blast of fire towards his opponent. Lydia just sat there and watched him unleash his attack. She was curious, and she wasn't disappointed in the current attack. The attack itself was most impressive. She noticed he was channeling a large amount of power in that fire attack. Channeling a large amount of fire, then release it in a massive blast of destruction. As the attack is bearing down upon Lydia, Lydia simply cut the beam of fire with her bare hands. The moment she closes her fist upon the energy blast of fire, the attack debursts. As an aftermath of such actions, as you can see sparks of fire flying over the room. Once Deku knew his attack was ineffective, he used this chance to flank the Elder God and slam his fists across the side of her face as she was sent skidding across the ground. Deku tried to create a fireball in his hand, as only green flames begin to flicker between his fingertips. But unfortunately, that's all he can create with his fire. He has finally hit his limit, at least when it comes to his fire. He won't be able to use that specific quirk until he's able to recover, as his fire aspect of his many quirks he has is in cooldown. And Deku's other quirks are on their last legs as well. Deku estimate he has at least 30 minutes to be able to use his abilities until all of his quirks have to go into cooldown, only leaving him with very limited of options to fight with. Unfortunately, the only thing that could accelerate his recovery is just sleep. His body just needs to recover and recover some of the stamina he has lost in the midst of this battle. But sleeping is currently off the table. He doesn't have that luxury. Eventually, all of his quirks will basically go into cooldown, and he has nothing else but his super strength and natural speed to rely on. Deku begins to charge forward, but running around her safe distance as he created green lightning bolt as he flew it off towards Lydia, hitting her dead on, but not even affecting her, not even leaving a mark on her body. Deku jumped backwards. As he skid backwards, he threw 2 green lightning bolts at his opponent. When he tried to throw the third, he knew he wasn't be able to form any more lightning. The only thing he can produce is bits of green electricity in the palm of his hands. As his lightning quirk has finally entered cooldown, Deku created several black metal kunais in his hands and began to run circles around the Elder God and beginning to toss the kunais in vital spots in her body. Small pause, I do apologize if you could hear that. My cat's having a blast with a plastic bag, so I do apologize if you could hear that in the background. I highly doubt it, but who knows. Anyways, let's continue forward. Lydia wasn't expecting the very strange throwing knives. She's unaware of what a kunai is, but it's pretty obvious it's a weapon, so she began to dodge effortlessly at each attempt to pierce her skin with a flying kunai, as she easily caught the last one in her hands. Lydia tossed the kunai directly at Deku as it flies give me a second here. Threw it so hard Deku couldn't even notice it, as it flew directly past Deku, hitting dead end into a statue. As it pierced the statue itself, the stone statue, as the statue begins to crack and crumble from the weapon piercing the hard rock. Deku activated his telekinesis and began to throw Lydia across the chamber, making her hit the walls of the chamber repeatedly until his telekinesis stopped working as well, leaving Deku with fewer options to work with. Well, damn, I'm almost at my limit. Deku got into a fighting stance as he watches Lydia unlodge herself from the wall. That shortly afterwards, when she freed herself from the wall, it began to repair itself. I see, you finally are at your limit. I'm quite impressed you lasted this long. Sadly, it seems 20% of my overall power is just too much for you to handle. You've already wasted so much energy on several powerful attacks that a mortal can produce. I have no doubt you have some sort of drawbacks using your abilities. There's always a cost when it comes to power. Lydia instantly ran forward in a zigzag pattern and slammed her fist across Deku's face. Then she kneed him in the side of the ribs, followed up by a combination palm strike into his chest, then ending her combination with a spin kick across the face as Deku was sent skidding backwards as he digged his hands into the stone tile floor, stopping his momentum. Deku struggled to get to his feet and simply charged at the fallen elder god and swung a right hook, only for his right hook to get weaved around. Then she landed a devastating left hook across his face as wind pressure was created from the strike, as Lydia began to land a left hook, then a right hook, continuously into Deku's face, side of his ribs, and his chest. Once the Elder God ended her assault, Deku couldn't help but land on one knee, breathing heavy. Lydia began to throw out a powerful punch, but stopped suddenly mere inches away from Deku's face as she pulled her fist as she slowly pulled her fist back before it can make contact with Deku's face. Congratulations, mortal. You have passed this trial. Rest. Then we'll move forward to your long-awaited reward. Deku barely had enough strength to walk over to the stone beam and lean against it. Please, follow me, mortals. I'll show you to the guest room. We'll talk further once you have recovered. Lydia guided the two mortals to one of the guest rooms in the pyramid. Melina helped Deku from falling and put his arm around her shoulder for support as they eventually got to the guest room. As Lydia departed, allowing them to rest, Melina helped Deku get into the large bed. The moment his head touched one of the pillows, he instantly fell asleep. Melina just moved a couple strands of his hair away from his face as she proceeded to lay down and wrap Deku's arms around her waist as she got extremely comfortable and fell asleep herself. Deku entered the realm of dreams as he found himself in an unknown terrain. It looks like this entire area is barren. There's nothing but black rock can be seen, and several rivers of lava. Excellent. My spell worked. Greetings, Deku. Quan Chi, what is this place? And I take it you are responsible for bringing me here? No need to fret. This is just a harmless image of my home, the Netherrealm. I simply just use a spell to make contact with you. The downside, it only is possible if you're already asleep. Think of it as a temporary mindscape. So we can converse like this. And it's good to see you still alive. Out of curiosity, why would you think I would not be alive? I'm very hard to kill. Well, you're traveling with Melina. She's not the easiest companion to deal with. On the contrary, it's quite the opposite. It's been quite entertaining traveling with the princess. But I highly doubt you contact me just to talk about our princess. So, what are you really after? I knew I liked you for a reason. I do have a specific reason. I would like to further discuss a possible alliance with you. We briefly talked about it on Shang Tsung's island, but I wish to have a more in-depth discussion on the matter. You know this Mortal Kombat tournament that Shao Kahn is hosting is doomed to fail. Raiden will see to that. I wouldn't be surprised if he even took part in this Mortal Kombat tournament in Outworld. Don't get me wrong. The hunger power bastard does have power. He does have a cunning mind. Despite that, all those positive traits, he lacks the fortitude and the brains to utilize what he has at his fingertips. Mark my word, he'll get lost in his conquest of power, and ultimately he will fail one way or another. You're talking treason pretty openly, Quan Chi. Even if that's so, you don't seem to be bothered by it one bit. Am I wrong, Deku? You're not wrong. I'm only here in the first place under my father's orders, and that's the only reason why I'm playing nice with everyone. Being a team player. Don't be fooled by my friendly persona. I'm a killer, and I'm a very good killer at that. I'm fully aware. I'm in over my head with this realm business. But I've always been a fast learner and adapt to most situations quite easily. But I'll hear you out. Let's hear your sales pitch. As Deku begins to cross his arms across from his chest, my plans are quite simple, Deku. When Shao Kahn ultimately gets defeated, and Shao Kahn has already took that into account. If this tournament fails, he will invade Earth, regardless of the Elder God's permissions or not. Those arrogant fools up there won't take kindly of Shao Kahn breaking the rules of Mortal Kombat. But there's a slight problem. Shao Kahn won't be able to conquer Earth. But there's a slight problem. Shao Kahn won't be able to conquer Earth. That's why he's so focused on winning this tournament. See, Deku, before the late Queen's unfortunate demise, she learned of her husband's desire to conquer Earthrealm, so she placed a spell protecting that realm from invasion. Even in death, the spell is strong. But I have plans to fix that. But all this is a means to an end. I'm only using Shao Kahn and the snake, Shang Tsung, to further my goals. My goal at the end of this is to bring back my master and free him from his imprisonment. And if you help me in this endeavor, I have no doubt my master will reward you generously. Having a elder god's favor would be most useful for you, my boy. And why would you think I would have anything to do with this? What can you possibly offer me to have me even consider joining forces with your little mind game? As Deku turned around to walk away after hearing silence, It's quite simple, my boy. I'll bring back your mother, back from the dead. Deku instantly stopped as he turned his head back at Quan Chi, as his eyes narrow at the sorcerer. Excuse me, I must have misheard you, sorcerer. She could only smirk. You did not mistake, Deku, if you join me in freeing my master, the fallen elder god Shinnok. I could bring back your dear mother. You're capable of this? Indeed I am. Who do you think helped Shang Tsung in bringing back Kano? I'd have to go to your realm to do so, but it is possible. I have the ability to do so at any time, as long as I have access to your realm and access to the souls. The rest of it is easy to accomplish. It is in my power to do so. Take it you won't do anything until your master is freed. Exactly, Deku. We both get something out of this. You get your mother back, and my master is free. And I wasn't lying. He will generously reward you. Whoa. I want to make sure I get this straight. You have no intention of backstabbing Shao Kahn in the meantime. I won't need to. He'll do it to himself. I just have to sit back and watch the show. He is doomed to fail, Deku. Join the winning side. We could do much great things together, Deku. As Deku has one of his index fingers under his chin, as he's in deep thought, as he's going over the cons of such a alliance. He's always wanted to meet his mother. He finally made up his mind. If you can accomplish this, sorcerer, then I'll join you. But if you try to back out of this deal or betray me, I'll kill you. Dream of it, Deku. Deku is no fool. He could tell Quan Chi is a manipulator, but if there's a slightest chance he can accomplish such a feat, he'll play along with his little manipulation. His manipulation won't work on Deku. His own father is far more better in the skill by manipulating fools than his arrogant sorcerer. Deku only sees a fool in front of him, but he'll use this fool to get what he wants. Releasing a fallen elder god that's clearly been in prison is probably not a smart move on his part, but yet again, if he plays along, there's a chance he might be able to bring back his mother to the land of the living. There's a risk. That's a risk he's willing to take. Excellent, my boy. This current tournament presents Sorry, give me a second. Current tournament does present a very good opportunity to remove a threat off the board. I know I said there is a possibility that Thunder God Raiden himself would enter the Mortal Kombat tournament in Outworld, but I'm not going to leave it to chance. I want you to make sure he does enter the tournament. So you want me to mess with Raiden, and by doing that, forcing him to enter the Mortal Kombat tournament? Not good enough. I want you to make him very angry. So angry that he enters the tournament just by pure impulse, making himself very vulnerable and possibly able to be eliminated permanently. The Elder Gods would never allow Raiden to enter the tournament while still being a god. They'll most likely take his godhood for the time he's in the tournament. The Elder Gods do like to follow their rules that they make up themselves. Arrogant fools. That's where you come in, my boy. I can arrange things for you to fight against Raiden, and when you do fight him, I want you to kill him. Well, considering what you're planning, that's probably your best bet. If a Raiden is definitely off the playing board, Raiden is definitely a threat that needs to be dealt with. I have already informed Shao Kahn about that little part of my plan, where I will set it up for you to finally kill Raiden and get him out of our hair. Shao Kahn is very much approve of such methods. I've told him what he needs to know. Naturally, keeping my full attentions to myself. I plan to keep it that way. You're playing a very dangerous game, but sounds exciting, sure. I'll kill the bastard. If I fight him in this Mortal Kombat tournament in Outworld. Very good. I look forward to working with you. Their conversation done, Deku exits the temporary mindscape that was created by Quan Chi. Quan Chi's spell. And he slept uninterrupted the rest of the night. Deku woke up the next morning in a very familiar situation with his arms around Melina's waist. As she's resting her head against his chest, Deku gently removed his arms around the sleeping princess and head to the other room that's connected to the chamber that they're sleeping in, and when he woken, he immediately noticed it's a bathing room. Not even 5 minutes later, the bath/hot spring has Melina join Deku in the water. How are you holding up? That fight was pretty brutal. I'm fine, I'm a bit sore. And my stamina has pretty much recovered. I still be able to use my abilities. Nothing too powerful. I want to make sure I'm fully recovered before I try to use any more of my more powerful moves that I have access to, just to be safe. I've never been in a situation like this before. This is uncharted territory for me. I sure got my ass kicked, that's for sure. In all honesty, that was to be expected. You were fighting against an elder god, a powerful Elder God. I don't know how she stacks up with other Elder Gods. That's the first Elder God I've ever seen. She might be weaker than the rest of the Elder Gods, or she might be more powerful. It's hard to tell. Only able to draw out 20% of her power. I clearly had no chance, but it seems like I passed whatever trial that fight was. I need to recover as much as possible while I have the chance. When we get back, I believe I'm going to be quite busy. What do you mean by that? Everything will be clear, Princess, once we return. This upgrade couldn't have come at a better time. What are you plotting, Deku? Something very entertaining, but my normal methods won't deliver the appropriate message that I need to send. I need to do a little more. I need to be a little more extreme. Deku got a sinister grin on his face, even putting shivers down Melina's spine. They stayed like that for a few more hours, just holding a normal conversation between each other, until they got out and got dressed, and left the guest chambers, and head back to the main chamber, where he fought Lydia. Lydia was already down in the chamber waiting for them. There you are. I hope you slept well. That I did. Thank you for the hospitality. Think nothing of it, mortal. Please, follow me. What exactly does this upgrade entails? As you're already aware, I already have the element of lightning manipulation, at least a form of it. I won't lie to you, normally this process would be painless and quite simple, but considering you have a similar ability, I'm guessing your lightning comes from your genetics itself, not magic. I don't sense any magical aura coming from you, boy. So clearly you're no sorcerer. And I take it your other abilities are the same as well. You are correct. My people refer to our abilities as quirks. I won't bore you on all the details. Let's just say people from my realm are usually born with quirks, abilities, some more useful than others. If that is so, I am quite curious. Why do you have several of these, what you call them, quirks? That clearly can't be normal, even for your realm. Whatever realm you come from. Be thanks to my old man. And my body has already been modified to handle several quirks all at once. Improve, you say? That would explain your superior speed, strength, durability, and impressive stamina for a mortal. We've got off topic, but for your upgrade, the process will be quite painful. But with your accelerated healing, I believe you will survive. I figured as much. Pain is an old friend of mine. There's always a price when it comes to power. As you said yesterday, and I know that far too well. They eventually went through several hallways leading into a pretty big chamber as they could see a floating black crystal, as there are sets of stone stairs leading up to the floating crystal in the middle of the room, on all sides, almost like a pedestal. Deku followed Lydia up the stone stairs, leading up to the crystal. When they finally got to their destination, Lydia spoke once again. Now turn your back on the black crystal and face me. Deku was confused, but he did so as he watched Lydia create a very powerful black orb in her hands, as Deku could see sparks of black electricity in the orb, as the crystal is resonating with the orb, as the crystal itself has black electricity roaming through the inside of the crystal. Deku has a theory on what she can do with that ominous orb. He's hoping he's wrong, but he was broken out of his inner thoughts by Lydia. I do apologize in advance. This is gonna sting. As she plunged the black orb into his chest, as he was yanked towards the floating crystal, as he sunk into the crystal, as black electricity begins to surround Deku, as he's being electrocuted from the outside and from the inside of his body, as the ominous black orb that was plunged into his chest begins to electrocute him as well. Melina only could see flashes of his outline from all the electricity inside the black crystal. Melina immediately was about to go into attack. Relax, little savage. This is how this works. You honestly think this was a simple I grant you a power-up? It's a lot more complex, little savage. Probably not going to like what I'm about to ask, but why do you keep referring me to as a savage? Because that's what you are. Sorry, give me a second. Let's continue. Because that's what you are, you are a savage and an abomination. I can sense the magic that was used to create you. I find it very appalling and disturbing. The reason why I haven't smite you from this spot, because you are his companion, so no harm will come to you. I highly doubt he would like it very much if you are damaged in any way. Melina narrowed her eyes at the goddess. Despite the dig at her, she held her anger in and press on regardless, and spoke up once again. And how long is this supposed to take? It differs from person to person, but something like this has never been attempted before. The mortal, that his name is Deku, is far from normal. And I have a sinking feeling you see that as well. I hate to admit it, but I have to agree with you. I've never met a life form like Deku. He's unique. And not even me knows the result. After he resurfaced from the black crystal, I don't know how he will be upgraded. Like I said, this never has been attempted before. In your own very words, he is very unique. His abilities are so different, and there's so many of them. I don't know how his lightning will be upgraded, considering his lightning comes from his genetics. And I take it, his other abilities follow a same pattern. And I take it it's not normal to have so many abilities, someone of his species. He made it seem like power varies from person to person. So I don't know if he has other. I don't know if the process will affect his other abilities. I highly doubt it, but there's always a chance of that happening. Such as unknowns as this. On Deku's side of things, he's been going through the most painful experience of his life, as black lightning is shooting through his body from the crystal, while the orb that was shoved into his chest did the same. As he's starting to feel the changes to his body, you could clearly feel the changes. Not drastic change, but change nonetheless. He could feel it. Suddenly, Melina and Lydia could feel a huge amount of power coming from the crystal as the crystals begin to crack. Then the crystal immediately shattered into a million pieces as Deku landed on the edge of the stairway. A knee on the ground, with his long hair blocking the view of his face. Once Deku stood up on both of his feet, there was one minor change, and it's definitely noticeable, as there's a black crystal in the middle of his forehead. The new accessory on his forehead would spark green and black electricity occasionally. I don't feel my lightning quirk anymore, but I can still feel I have access to all of the abilities and much more. This is a very odd experience. Deku picked up a shard of the black crystal and saw his reflection, and saw the black crystal in the middle of his forehead glowing a very ominous color. As green and black electricity begins to emanate from his new addition to his forehead. Fascinating. It's clearly a focuser for your new lightning abilities. It seems you infused yourself with all of the lightning power during the process of you being upgraded. That's most likely why you don't feel the quirk anymore. You don't need it. But what about your other abilities? Are there any changes? Nothing out of the normal. Outside of they seem more powerful. Whatever happened in that black crystal seems to give all my abilities a power boost. Judging how my lightning works, that's not too surprising. My lightning quirk already empowers all my other abilities. Not to this extent now, but it's definitely quite useful. Once Deku got used to the new powers in his body, as Lydia guided the two mortals to part of the pyramid where they could portal back to their own realm in one of the chambers as she watches them leave. Take him, Mother. He doesn't realize what sort of trials he just went through. No, he doesn't. His trials has only just begun. I simply only planted the seed. To think the Elder God set this up, this little trials, to find whatever mortals are worthy to be called a god. With me and Shinnok in prison, there's clearly open positions as a Elder God. He's already on the road of godhood. How powerful of a god he would be, that would be completely up to him. After all, there's several more Black Pyramids here to grant him more power towards that end. I just need to be patient and play my cards right. Then my freedom will be granted, and that boy is the very key to my freedom. And once I'm free, the hourglass will be mine. Once I eliminate all that who block my path, I will rewrite history as I see fit in my own image. A week has passed as you see the Earth Warriors and the Shaolin monks are in the process of celebrating a festival for winning the Mortal Kombat tournament and saving Earth. Seems to be having a good time, but unfortunately, the party was crashed. As several party crashers came to say hi, as a portal opened up, interrupting everyone's good time, as Shang Tsung and Deku come walking out of the portal, putting everyone on high alert. Deku looked around to see several similar faces and a couple of new faces to greet him, but no Raiden to be seen. Several Shaolin monks immediately began to charge forward, seeing intruders, as something shot out of Deku's shadow, revealing it to be Noob Saibot. Alright, mysterious specter. You handle the half of the strange-looking monks, and I'll handle the rest. Raiden is clearly not present. Let's give him a warm welcome, shall we? We have a lot of things to do before his arrival. All means, go right ahead and play nice. Go right ahead and play nice with your playmates. You completely ignore Shang Tsung as he disappeared, as he reappeared in some sort of flash step. Immediately, Deku used his natural speed to intercept several Shaolin monks. The 3 Shaolin monks, all carrying wooden bow staffs, charged forward at the same time. Their weapons couldn't even get close to Deku, as an unseen force stopped all of their swings, as all of their bow staffs shattered right in front of them into a million pieces. The monks immediately got some distance by jumping backwards and get into a fighting stance at the same time. Deku was quite curious on how skilled these Shaolin monks really are. Deku clearly looked around with a non-emotional expression on his face. Deku simply raised his arm. He slowly closed his fist as all 3 of the Shaolin monks were shot backwards like a bullet by an unknown force, hitting into several, as all three of them hit a trunk of a tree. Deku turned around to stop a blade hat from hitting him by stopping it with his telekinesis as he tossed the blade hat right back to his owner, revealing the owner of the weapon to be Kung Lao. Kung Lao caught his returning bladed hat as he caught it in his hands and put the hat back onto his head as he approached Deku. You got a lot of nerve attacking the Shaolin monastery. Allow me to show you what a Shaolin warrior can do. As Kung Lao gets into a fighting stance, ready to engage in combat, you immediately engage in a hand-to-hand combat with Kung Lao. There was no banter. Deku's here for a reason. Normally, he would spend some time in banter between his opponents, but he has a job to do. Whoever this Shaolin monk is, he's going to crush him. He normally wouldn't outright kill him, but he has his orders. He planned to make an example out of him. If he's lucky, he might even get the attention of the Thunder God himself. So Deku proceeds to charge forward with precise position. Yeah, I butchered that. Let me try this again. Nice position, and began to overtake Kung Lao by dodging and weaving around his strikes and kicks as he slapped Kung Lao's hand away, then proceeded to elbow Kung Lao in the throat, making him gasp for air. Deku used his telekinesis to lift up the Shaolin monk and slam him down to the ground repeatedly. He might have been enjoying slamming this monk into the ground more than he should. After all, he wasn't satisfied with his Shaolin monk. He was highly disappointed as he yanked the Shaolin monk towards him and grabbed him by the back of his skull and slammed his head into the ground, making the training area for the Shaolin monks to begin to crack underneath his opponent. Deku watched Kung Lao struggle to get up to his feet as he wiped the blood from his mouth using his forearm. If this is what a Shaolin monk can offer me, then I'm highly disappointed. You're dead, bastard. I won't be looked down upon by the likes of you. As he throws his hat once again, only to see Deku bat the hat out of the way with the back of his hand and grab Kung Lao by the throat and lift him up in the middle of the air. Deku pointed his index finger towards Kung Lao's shoulder as it begins to emanate black and green electricity as a lightning bullet shot out of his fingertips right through Kung Lao's shoulder as he tries to scream out in pain. Kung Lao stopped screaming. Deku pointed his index finger towards Kung Lao again as he begins to produce the same electricity as he pointed at his skull. Nothing personal, but you be perfect. You're one of many examples I'm gonna make here today. Normally, I would ask your name when I kill someone, but you're a nobody. Goodbye, Shaolin warrior. It's been fun. Kung Lao's eyes widen. He noticed whoever this guy is. He's going for the killing blow. Kung Lao was immediately let go of as a very familiar fireball came flying towards him as Deku slid backwards, invading the fireball that came from Liu Kang. Well, 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 it isn't the Chosen One himself. Liu Kang regrets on winning the tournament. It was a most impressive feat to witness. I'm actually quite pleased you're here, Liu Kang. Killing you will definitely enrage your master. I can't wait to see his expression as he comes to your rescue only to find you dead, motionless, laying on the ground. And completely ignored Deku's threats. Sorry to interrupt. It looked like you needed some assistance, old friend. I had it under control, Liu Kang. Clearly. Whatever, Liu Kang. Let's just kick his ass. Why don't you help the rest? I'll handle this one. The only one that's threatening the Shaolin Temple. I hate to admit it, but you're right. Listen, little punk. This is not over. Deku just allowed Kung Lao to escape. Your friend's quite arrogant. Kung Lao for you. Back to the matter of hand. Why are you attacking the monastery? The Shaolins have done nothing wrong to you. Nothing personal, Chosen One. But I'm here to deliver a message, and I plan to deliver such message in the most brutal way possible. This message, precisely, is to the Thunder God Raiden, of course. Jax and Sonya Blade finally revealed themselves, standing right next to Liu Kang. It's good to see so many familiar faces. Jax and Miss Sonya. I'm glad you showed yourself. This makes the next step of my plan very easy. As this, we're gonna stop it. Hope you guys have a good night and day, judging by time zones. And I'll catch you in the next video.